Hotep, Black Power, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. As always, giving honor to my sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my father, my in-laws, and all of the ancestors, as well as all of you that are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. And today, I'm just going to chop it up and I'm just going to ramble about a few things since since I don't have just a entire subject to deal with. We're just going to do a little building and see how far we can go from there. This thing, I may be late on this, or I may be a little slow or whatever, but I'm just catching on and hearing about this thing that they call catfish. Where someone may put some pictures online claiming that they may be a particular person, but that's not them. And then they set up a meeting with someone and have the other person under the impression that the picture that they saw is who they're going to be meeting. And they meet a totally different person. Now, shit like that can be real dangerous. Now, I was looking at one particular video where this brother was communicating with this sister, and the sister was sending him these pictures like she was 36, 24, 36, I guess, brick house or whatever, very fine and what have you. And that's the impression that he was under. So they communicated for several months and they agreed to meet. So this brother hops he catches a couple of planes and flies across country, to meet this sister in person. And when he gets there, she's the opposite of the picture. As a matter of fact, the picture wasn't even of her, And, when he gets there, she looks like, Shamu. And it's and he filming the whole entire event from the time he gets off the plane till the time he actually goes into her bedroom and actually meets her for the first time. She got Cheetos all on the motherfucking bed, and her head fucked up. She weighed about 320. No bra on. Titties look like two deflated NFL footballs, and nipples by her fucking navel and all this, and and then the brother was saying that how disappointed he was, that she didn't have to lie to him and trick him like that, and make him spend several $100s in airfare and accommodations to link up with her, but then she tries to flip the script and catches the attitude, and goes into this, love me for what's on the inside and all this old bullshit. What's on the inside is a whole bunch of motherfucking trash and a bladder full of pastries, and that's what's on the inside, pig feet bones and all that shit in your goddamn intestines, and and now I've heard of some games that have been played where men have proclaimed to be women and have linked up, and there's been a couple of homicides behind that, However, my thing is this, first of all, you shouldn't even be engaging in that shit, Second, a lot of you brothers, y'all know that these guys that portraying to be women are men. There's certain characteristics that a man has that can't be altered, that can't be chiseled, and nothing can be done about that. You know. And a lot of times, you know, some of you all, you know what's going on, but you want to test the waters with a motherfucking another man, you know. And then when things don't go like you want them to go, or you know, that guy decides to flip your ass over. Now you on some killing shit. You know. So, you know, to avoid that, you know, be who you are. You know, those type of games in social media are dangerous because you really don't know who's who. And the best thing to do, actually, is once you find someone decent, because the way that they have things situated and try to implant in people's minds that, you know, marriage and commitment is weak and it's boring and it's corny and, you know, it's no excitement and no fun out of it, which is totally bullshit. You know, what is so boring about finding and being with your soulmate, enjoying the other half of yourself? You know, that's just a cop out and an excuse for people who have been hurt, who are not good at making good choices in terms of companions, in terms of wives, in terms of girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever. You know, your vision is real blurry when it comes to, you know, picking out, you know, a soulmate or king or queen, you know, for yourself. Because a lot of times, and it's not embarrassing to ask for help, you know, to get some guidance on choosing a mate besides that internet shit. I mean, because that's a lot of trickery, you know, and now that they have people that can actually wear body sleeves and all this type of stuff, you really don't know what's going on. So it's just, you know, to be safe, you know, if you have a soulmate, if you've been blessed to have a soulmate or good god or goddess, you know, be content. Learn to be content. You know, because if you have an uncomfortability, that means there's some things going on with yourself that you are not, you know, you are not kosher with. So that's some internal soul searching that you have to do, you know, to find that peace within. You know, and just some food for thought. Just some food for thought. Because we make so many excuses. We do so much bullshit and lying. And that's why I'll tell you all, 2018, this is the year of being real. This is the year of coming clean with everything. This is the year of actually seeing who you really are. So you can make the proper decisions and determinations on what directions that you would like to go in, you know, with this part of your life. You know, so, you know, and it's time for, you know, the big boys to step up to the plate. You know, and the little boys need to go home, sit on the porch, you know, and take more notes. You know, and let the men do what they need to do. You know. I'm going to be doing something on Khalid Muhammad next week. And actually next Sunday, to be exact. That's his ascension date. And who was a powerful brother. If you look behind me, you'll see a picture of Paul Robeson, who, you know, seems to have been forgotten. But Paul Robeson was one of the most strongest black men of our time. And I'm not going to go in a whole dialogue on Paul Robeson, because then you won't do any research. But if you do some research on Paul Robeson, you're going to be astonished and amazed of how this brother, fought adversity during the time that he was during his prime. Very, very thorough brother. He was like a Muhammad Ali, Khalid Muhammad, Malcolm X combined. Paul Robeson put in some work, along with brother Marcus Garvey, because he come out of that era. So, do some research on brother Paul Robeson, the great ancestor. I had got some news about hearing about the ancestor, the late Dennis Edwards, who made his ascension last week, that he was being physically abused by his supposedly wife, and real disturbing shit about this wench, that she was, while this brother was incapacitated, and on his deathbed, she snatched his hearing aids out his ears and sat on his body and put a pillow over his head to try to suffocate the brother. She had several restraining orders. And see, when you get people like that, because when this brother was alive and kicking, when this brother was, a chart buster with music, when he was with the Temptations, even as a solo artist, you didn't hear nothing about situations, with him as you hear now about this bed wench that he's supposed to have been married to, because when he was in good health, a lot of shit he wasn't tolerating, and the brother, reached stardom. And see, when our brothers and sisters, when they're at the top of their game, and they have riches, they have royalty, they have the ultimate respect, they have hundreds of thousands of fans, making guest appearances, being on various TV shows and Soul Train and performing all around the world, and providing the people that they love, with so much comfort, where they don't have to want for anything. When the glitz and glamour disappears, that's when the real niggas show up. It was no way that she was supposed to have been able to sat on him and put a pillow on him to suffocate him and remove his hearing aids out his ears. I mean, was it anybody else around him? What about around-the-clock nurses? Once again, see, when the glitz and glamour is gone and the money and the fame leaves, and everybody else shortly leaves right behind it. And these are sad stories, like Michael Jackson was talking about, of how a lot of our phenomenal entertainers, athletes, and stars, they leave this earth penniless, broken people, because they gave of themselves to the world. They looked out for so many people, paying people's rents, people coming to them with sob stories and distant cousins and so much that they had to go through into the giving of themselves, and that's not including, hundreds and thousands of hours of rehearsing, traveling all over the country, going from plane to plane, living out of a suitcase, literally, performing, all over the planet, that can wear a person down. And at the same time, you got thousands of people calling with their hands out, and you don't want to be a bad person, and you want to share with the world, and you want to share with your people, But at the same time, you know, it's hard to, you know, decipher who's for real and who's bullshitting. You know, who's out to get you and who's really in your corner. And so, you know, that was evident, you know, that you know, this slut could do what she done to him in terms of attempting, you know, to take his life, and no one is around, you know, on Dennis Edwards' behalf to defend him. You know, so those are, you know, things such as those that we don't look at. You know, that some of us go through. You know, that's why it's so important for us to link together. You know, for us to link together, you know, brothers and sisters. Because at the rate things are going, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. We're going to be in a lot of economic trouble. We're going to be in a lot of trouble in terms of the war with food. You know, biological, chemical warfare with the food that is demasculating our babies, that is destroying the organs of melanated people primarily. Population control in terms of aborting our babies. Because when people say, you know, where are all the black men at? The black men are just not in jail. The black men have been aborted. The black men have been aborted. Millions and hundreds of thousands and millions of our kings and queens are aborted each year through Planned Parenthood. And I try to tell these sisters, these young